It's perhaps the most stigmatized and misunderstood psychological disorder of them all, even among psychologists. Maybe because it's pretty rare, affecting about 1% of the population, schizophrenia causes more anxiety in the media, in the public, and even in doctors' offices than any other mental illness. As a result, its sufferers have often been shunned, abused, or locked up. And among the many fallacies that surround the disorder is simply what it means. The word schizophrenia literally means split mind, but contrary to popular belief, the condition has nothing to do with a split in personality or multiple personalities. The term refers instead to what's sometimes called a split from reality.
The basic symptoms of schizophrenia can be grouped into two areas, what are called positive symptoms and negative symptoms. The positive symptoms of schizophrenia are hallucinations and delusions. Hallucinations usually comprise of hearing voices, and the delusions are often of a persecutory nature, but they're basically any beliefs that are a departure from reality. And those are the positive symptoms of schizophrenia, and the ones that are usually most noticeable. But there's also another group of symptoms of schizophrenia which are called the negative symptoms, and often these symptoms are the ones that manifest first and can go unnoticed for a while, which is the period before a full diagnosis is made. And this period is called the prodrome, where you have mainly negative symptoms and symptoms that involve social isolation and a gradual detachment from connections to other people, a reduction in thought process, and things like that.
Schizophrenia is a chronic condition that usually surfaces for men in their early to mid-20s and for women in their late 20s. For some, the disorder comes on gradually, but for others it can arise more suddenly, perhaps triggered by stress or trauma, although no event can actually cause the disorder. Once thought of as a single discrete condition, schizophrenia is now included in the DSM-5 as a point on a spectrum of disorders that vary in how they're expressed and how long they last, but they share similar symptoms. Schizophrenia spectrum disorders are currently thought of as characterized by disorganized thinking, emotions, and behaviors that are often incongruent with their situations, and disturbed perceptions, including delusions and hallucinations. They all involve a kind of loss of contact with reality on some level. The resulting behaviors and mental states associated with this break from reality are generally called psychotic symptoms, and they usually impair the ability to function. When someone's experiencing psychotic symptoms, their thinking and speech can become disorganized, rambling, and fragmented. This tendency to pick up one train of thought and suddenly switch to another and then another can make communication painfully difficult. People exhibiting these symptoms can also suffer a breakdown in selective attention, losing the ability to focus on one thing while filtering others out. In extreme cases, speech may become so fragmented it becomes little more than a string of meaningless words, a condition given a name that sounds like its own kind of non sequitur, word salad. Classic schizophrenia is also often marked by delusions or false beliefs not based in reality. These delusions can be rooted in ideas of grandeur, like I'm the Queen of England, or I won an Olympic gold medal for the luge. Or they can become narratives of persecution and paranoia, believing your thoughts and actions are being controlled by an outside force, or that you're being spied on or followed, or that you're on the verge of a major catastrophe. And there are some complicated variations on these delusions, like feeling that you've died or don't exist anymore, or that someone is madly in love with you, or that you're infested with parasites. Delusions of one kind or another strike as many as 4 out of 5 people with schizophrenia. While some delusions can seem fairly logical, they can also be severe and bizarre and frightening. Unfortunately, many of the most memorable examples of people suffering from severe delusions come from serial killers, and yeah, while Son of Sam did claim that he was taking orders from his neighbor's dog, that kind of stuff is in the tiny minority. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys and Syd Barrett of Pink Floyd have both suffered psychotic symptoms. And then of course there's John Nash, the Nobel Prize-winning American mathematician and subject of the movie A Beautiful Mind. Through proper treatment, some people with schizophrenia have not only learned to live with their illness, but also made fantastic creative contributions to the world. Many people with schizophrenia also suffer from perceptual disturbances or sensory experiences that come without any apparent sensory stimulation, like hallucinations. This is when a person sees or hears something that isn't there, often lacking the ability to understand what is real and what isn't. Auditory hallucinations or hearing voices are the most common form, and these voices are often abusive. It's as if your inner monologue, that little conversation that you have have with yourself or the random things that float through your head were somehow coming from outside of you. It's as if you couldn't sort out whether the voices in your mind were internal and self-generated or external and other-generated. To me, it sounds terrifying. Other common symptoms include disorganized, abnormal, or incongruent behavior and emotions. This could mean laughing when recalling a loved one's death, or crying while others are laughing, acting like a goofy child one minute then becoming unpredictably angry or agitated the next. Movements may become inappropriate and compulsive, like continually rocking back and forth or remaining motionless for hours.
There's going to be a hearing tomorrow to see whether or not there's any legal basis why you have to stay here.
I'm not crazy.
If it was up to you, would you like to leave the hospital tomorrow?
I'd like to leave the hospital tomorrow because I've got things I got to do.
Okay, well,
It's the first of the month and there's a lot of rent to be paid and all that.
Okay. What brought you into the hospital?
I turned myself in on a 5150 because I felt like killing myself.
Okay, so you came here voluntarily.
So I could stop from killing myself.
And what was going on that you felt like killing
It
yourself?
was 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. All the same thoughts kept racing through my mind over and over and over again. I just wanted them to stop. Period. And I thought, well, if I kill myself, I'll stop thinking. And I thought, well, that isn't too good of an idea either because you've got friends and people around you who love you. So I stopped that thought. And I said, well, who am I going to call? And I called up Ghostbusters. I mean, no, that came out wrong. It's a joke. I didn't call Ghostbusters. I called up Crisis Intervention Center and talked to them on the phone. They said there was nothing they could do for me for one night. So I wound up here by ambulance. Paid an ambulance to take me here.
Okay.
Because the Crisis Intervention couldn't do anything for me.
Have you ever made any suicide attempts?
Oh, yeah, I have. A couple of them when I was 19.
Okay. Are you usually able to ask for help when you start feeling like that?
No, I was never able to ask for help before.
Okay, so this is a new thing.
This is a
You're
new
coming
thing
into
for
the
me.
hospital.
Yeah,
Okay.
the way I came in here is unlike any other way I've ever come into a hospital. Asking people to please help me so I do not kill myself.
That's all the questions I have for right now.
Can I go back in now? Yeah, I'm getting very uncomfortable out here. I think somebody might be trying to shoot me. Somebody might be trying to kill me.
I didn't do that. Years ago, I didn't have to worry about that one thing. I was one less paranoid. I mean, one less crazy. I was one less crazy. I mean, years ago, I didn't have this new mental problem. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty scary. That's why I called the police. Nobody else was doing it. Boy, those people at 7-Eleven, they're always on the phone talking about me.
When's the last time you felt good?
I don't remember. It's killing me. It's keeping me from having a boyfriend, keeping me from driving. It's killing me. Like in China or somewhere. I just believe if somebody's been suffering years ago, they should take an OD and die, because psychologically they may not want to take the OD, but to get out of their misery, they might. They fight it every night, and every day he's always fighting with me. Michael's always fighting with me. Drop dead, geek, retarded bitch. Oh, that stuff doesn't mean shit to me anymore. I'm so used to it. I do have a brain problem.
Waiting for you, though. Feel like you're about to get killed.
I'm so scared I can tell you that picture's got a headache.
Can you tell me more about that? The picture has a headache, or do?
You want to know?
Yes, I do.
Okay, when a sperm and an egg go together to make a baby, only one sperm goes up in the egg. And when they touch, there's 2 contact points that touch before the other 2. And then it's carried up into the egg. And when they fuse, it's like nuclear fusion, except it's human fusion. There's a mass loss of the proton. One heat abstraction goes up in the electron, spins around, comes back down into the proton to form the mind, and the mind can be reduced to 1 atom.
At this point, what would you like us to do for you?
I would like you to get me off of cigarettes get me dried out, cleaned up, so I can go home and get a job in a bakery and go to medical school.
The doctors have told me and my husband to be prepared that usually they wait until the child's closer to 7 or 8 to diagnose early onset schizophrenia. Today, Brianna is 6.5 years old. Brianna has been slipping for the last 4 weeks, so we're exhibiting psychosis episodes 7 to 8 times a day on a minimum. Some days we lose her totally for the day. One of her personalities and voices is 7. Could you do us a favor?
What?
Could you draw us a picture of what 7 looks like?
Oh, yeah.
7 is a person who is actually shaped like a number. I think 7's got a lot to do with it today because 7 likes to tell everybody that there's nobody that lives in Brianna's head. I have been stabbed with forks, tomato steaks. 7 will sit there and punch you dead in the face and then swear up and down, screaming for hours, "I didn't touch you, you're a liar."
Worthless.
He's waking up now.
Oh, the phone woke him up. Don't answer. They'll know who you are.
You're a waste of space.
Why are you so stupid?
A waste of our time.
Stupid. So stupid. Worthless. We hate you.
He's gonna pick up the phone.
They'll know if you lie.
Rain! It's
Something
rain.
wrong. Weather.
Now to get pizza.
Poison.
Coming for you. Pizza.
He's hanging up.
Do you hear me?
Don't eat. Out to get you.
Poison.
They know about you.
Poison. Rolling when the armed gunmen entered the convenience store on 14th Street. The suspects were described as medium in stature with a slightly youthful demeanor. Anyone with information about this incident is urged to contact
They know. They know about you.
And in other news, officials have closed the northbound
Time for
lane
meds. Don't do that.
due to a water main break. Repair crews are on the scene. Now here's a story out of Chicago from last night. 2 men posing as maintenance workers nearly made it out of the Quick Bite convenience store with the store's ATM machine.
Make a list. Make a longer list.
Entered the store, asked the
You
customers
are
to not use the
ungrateful.
machine because of
You're a
reported
waste of
problems.
space.
They
A
told
waste
the
of our
clerk that They were
time.
going to take the machine back to their
Getting
shop for
coffee
repair.
now.
Don't drink it.
Sensing something
Stupid.
suspicious,
So
the clerk
stupid.
That smells
called
awful.
authorities.
Don't drink that coffee.
When the clerk told the men he had called police, the pair took off and left the machine.
Why are you so worthless?
So Sky, tell us how this weekend's weather is
Weather.
shaping out.
Something wrong.
You know what, Chuck? There's just no stopping the weekend weather. You hear that, Worthless? Weather's coming to get you.
Something wrong. Weather.
And what are you going to do about it, huh?
Something wrong. You have to stop it.
You're just going to sit around with your stupid mouth open and do nothing?
You have to stop it. It's the weather. It's here for us.
Now he has to answer the door.
It's here for us. Do something. Stay in.
Pizza.
Stay away from the door.
Stop the weather. Protect us.
Pizza.
You didn't order anything. No, don't answer. You're stupid to open that door. He has to open the door now.
Here you go.
Don't do it.
You'll be in trouble. Poison.
This is for you.
This is for you. He's working with them. He's part of the plot. This is for you. Shut the door. Shut it. Don't eat it. Poison. You're stupid to open it. I hate you. We
Here's
hate
some
you.
items on today's activities calendar. And you need some activities, especially when you're lazy and you sleep too much. Stop staring at me.
I know what you're thinking.
He knows. You can stop
They're
him.
coming for you. You know that.
Part of the plot. Use your mind.
It's because you're so ungrateful.
Don't eat it. Poison.
No. Don't open
He
it.
has to open the box.
This is entirely your fault.
Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Poison. Poison.
They're here, and it's all your fault.
Oh!
No.
They know it's you. You're in
Don't
control.
open the door.
You hear that?
No, 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 don't open it. Don't open it.
They're here, and it's all your fault.
You did it.
You should have used your mind to stop it.
Stop it. You have to take control.
Stop the door.